Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to part 3 of Born to be Wild Scholomance Academy set review. We have gone through the first 6 classes. We are now on Shaman. So without further ado, I'm just going to kick everything over to, I believe it's Hydralisk, your turn, yeah?
Yeah, that's me, buddy.
To start up on these Shaman cards.
So we have a weapon here. We've got a 2-mana 1/3 Rune Dagger common. So everybody's going to get this. After your hero attacks, gain spell damage +1 this turn. So it's a cheap weapon. It comes early. Everybody's going to get this in their packs. It's a even cost card. Even Shaman is not necessarily hitting you with spell damage. Like no one's hitting you with lava bursts or nothing like that, so I don't know exactly where this fits.
Yeah, Crackle's a thing, but
Crackles, yeah. I don't see this getting a lot of gameplay unless we're just going full spell damage. We're not worrying about odd or even. There's a chance that's a thing. What do you guys think? This is more of a 2. This is a 2-star card for me.
Yeah, for me, if this was odd, like if this was 1, it might be a 2. But it's a 1 for me. Spell damage in particular is powerful when it's odd. Like there's a janky like odd shaman that runs like the different spell damage synergies that like is fun, but not competitive. So
we watched 3E do like pretty well with it, but it's hard. Yeah. It's also really hard to play, and
exactly right. So if it was odd cost, it would be a 2 for me, but it's even like 1, easy 1.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike? And I love the blue on that one. That is vibrant blue. Perfect. Let's go, Mike.
Oh yeah, got to keep the theme here for all our watchers and viewers. Got to change the color for every class we do. So when I see a card like this, regardless of what I read on Twitter or Reddit, and I'm already too old to fall for internet hype and BS, keeping it PG. This very much makes me believe that regardless of what people say, they keep an eye on Wild, because if this weapon said after your hero attacks, gain +1 spell damage, I would give this 5 stars easily. But the fact that it says this turn, you can't stack it. So they're paying attention to even Shaman, because imagine equipping this and then just attacking with it and you stack that spell damage until the time comes. Yeah. Hopefully you don't play against somebody who has a ooze or whatever. But
this stack would be crazy.
Base that it says this turn is, to me, not that powerful. Yeah. So I really want to give it a 1. If it didn't say this turn, I'd say it's insane.
Yeah, here's my thought, right? This seems like a standard card for the dual class spell damage sort of thing. If you look at Wild, the only place I could see it is even Shaman, but even then, I don't think there's enough synergy. It has decent stats for the cost, but like honestly, if I'm going to play a weapon for 2, it's going to be Lickum. I think Lickum is better for Shaman, so I give it a 1.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 star from me as well. I don't foresee +1 spell damage doing much. It's okay when you have a totem because you're using that for 1 mana in even Shaman, and it's like that little extra reach, but I'm not putting a card in my deck to do that. I'm relying on the hero power, which is already there. So that's where I am.
Right on, Danny. All right, so we're on to the next card.
Yeah, Tidal Wave.
Yeah, Tidal Wave. It's an 8-mana spell, common, Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to all minions. So, this damages the entire board, a potential to heal you up a lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot, right? So we can run this in Even Shaman. But in Even Shaman, you're trying to control the board, right? So why would I kill everything? So maybe not, right? Like, I do not see. I wouldn't play it personally. It's a killer heal. It's the same stat line actually as Elemental Destruction, right? Because Elemental Destruction is a 3 mana overload 5, so it also costs 8 mana, but that does 4 to 5 damage to everything. So I don't know.
No life still.
No life steal. You're right, Mike. I don't know if I'm playing some sort of control or something, I would do it, but I feel like if I'm running like an Even Shaman, I'm more trying to control the board, hit you in the face, keep stuff on the board. This does 3 damage to all minions. I do not want to damage my own stuff, so I don't want to play it. This is a 2 for me.
Yeah. Control Shaman got a tool here.
It did for sure.
Yeah.
If it's a thing.
If it's a thing. Exactly. I don't know how much Control Shaman is going to be a thing. Tidal Wave, Hagatha, like it's got more and more AoEs. Of course, Earthquake, Hagatha Scheme. Like there might be some sort of like critical mass of AoE and healing and whatnot to force it into viability. I'm not seeing it though. I can't give it a 1 because it's right there. It's possible. So I'm with you, Hydralisk. It's a 2. This is a Control Shaman card, and maybe it'll help it claw back into viability. What do you think, Mike?
Trust me, I miss it.
I do too.
Give me my white eyes back. I miss my white eyes.
I don't have anything positive to say. So scrolling through chat here, I like the jokes. Memnarch said an 8 mana Reno. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I give it a 1. I play Even Shaman. I'm looking to bust your head way before turn 8. So I give it a 1.
Oh yeah, this is not an Even Shaman card for sure.
Yeah, no. And of course I'm saying this with the lens, so apologies for not having the experience to, review it in a different viewpoint, but Even Shaman, aggressive guy here. Sorry.
What if we got the what's his name, Helaziel on the board?
Oh my god.
Life Steal twice.
Right? It does it 2 times.
Oh wait.
Like,
we'll go to 60.
Yeah, one is life steal, and one is slightly.
Well, everybody knows in Wild you heal to 60, not 30, because Wild's better.
I think this is a 1. I think it just 8 mana just feels way too expensive to me.
so slow.
That's my problem with it, and like, I don't know. I mean, I understand Control Shaman. I played a lot of Shudderwalk. I hit Legend this month with Big Shaman, and it plays, a lot of spells and some stuff. I don't know. I can't see jamming this into anything. I mean, I guess there are some situations where you can clear the board and gain a bunch of health, but like, even then, if for 8 mana, it better do more than 3 damage to everything. It better do like 5 damage to everything or something. I don't know. So I give it a 1. It just seems too slow to me.
So normally I would give this a 1 star, but Reno Shaman is my pet deck. So Reno Shudderwalk Shaman is the deck that I play there. This is the card that goes in there because you always get that redundancy in board clears. But I mean, if I didn't have that deck as my pet deck, this would be a 1-star card for me. I will bump this up a little bit to a 2-star just because it does have that critical mass. like Electric Sheep had mentioned, there is a critical mass of board clears, even more so apparently in Reno decks. So getting a second copy of Reno is always good. I don't think this is a good card, but I'll probably play it in there because you used to play Hagatha in that deck. This is better than Hagatha significantly, especially because you don't want extra cards off of her ability anymore. So I'm going to give this 2 stars.
Okay. Right on. Okay, so next card. We have a 2-mana minion, Diligent Note Taker. 2 mana, 2/3. Spell burst, return the spell to your hand. So for 2 mana, it has a decent stat line. It's got the 2/3 with an effect. So I'm guessing we never just run this out unless we're tempoing against an aggro deck. Return the spell to your hand. So I am guessing there may be something more to this. I am not the biggest combo player. Maybe there's more to this than I know. It doesn't seem like something I really care about personally in a deck that I want to play. We can shove it into an even shaman deck. What spell would you like to return to your hand in even shaman?
All of them.
All of them.
Every single one.
Yeah, no. Which one in particular?
So
would you like
the
to
two
put
main
into your
one,
hand?
the 2 main ones are going to be Crackle, and then the other one is going to be the 0 mana Totemic Might, I believe.
Yeah, Might or
So, or Surge. Sorry, Surge.
Yeah.
Whichever one is the 0 mana one that adds 2 attack.
Surge.
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 Totemic Surge. Yes. No.
Yep.
Yeah. That
So
one's
essentially,
all-
this is a +4/+4. It's duplicating whatever spell. So there's 0 and 2 mana spells.
So on what turn are you playing this, Danny? If you're gonna play this card,
I'm playing this whenever I'm about to win the game.
Yeah. So you're looking for let's put this down, and then we're gonna crackle, and then we're gonna crackle again, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I haven't said that this is a great card yet, but this is those are the spells that you want to hit this with.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for me, I guess I'm gonna go with the 3. This is a 3 for me. It could possibly be a 4. Maybe this is an auto include. You know what? Hold on. Let's look at the list. Played in meta decks. Okay, 4. Right? If it's slotting itself right in even shaman, I guess it's a 4.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to tell you what to pick, but I can't wait until it's my turn.
Oh, you're going 5, aren't you, Nate?
I'm going 5. I'm straight up going 5. This is better than Bloodlust with Totemic Surge. This is 2 crackles. If we've got spell damage on the board, like, holy moly. Like, what? And it's not even just like echo. You can, do it again the next turn. You can bank whatever the spell is. Like if it's Totemic Might, like it's so versatile for 1. For 2, like it's Crackle. If it's Crackle, you get to like aim it again. Yeah, you have to spend the 2 mana again, but it's 2 mana. Come on. Like Diligent Note Taker, for me, it's a 5-star card. It slots right into Even Shaman, and it makes Even Shaman even more powerful. Like,
and I guess you don't worry about the overload when you're already winning, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
exactly.
Right on.
Brilliant. What do you think, Mike?
I don't even think it's fair, because you play this card.
Even?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to ride Sheep's coattail because Sheep is very good at that. If my opponent has at least 6 life and I have at least 6 mana, I'm slamming this guy down and we're crackling face.
Oh, yeah.
Any other reason I'm playing this spell is Totemic Surge, because I don't see a use playing this spell with Stormbringer because the minion transforms. So this card, to me, literally exists for Crackle. I understand there could be other applications, but for me, I'm playing this with Crackle or Surge. I can't wait until next Thursday. I love Paladin, but this might be the first deck I play for the first half an hour.
So is that a 4 or a 5, Mike?
Oh, I apologize. I got so excited explaining it. That's clearly a 5.
You're good.
I'm playing this. Yes.
Nate?
Yeah, I give it a 5 too. I think this card is awesome in Even Shaman. You play the burn, you get it back again. You play Surge or Might, you get them back again. Like I see no downside to this, and I think if you even take it a step farther, I'll play this in Aggro Shaman. I would play this in you could potentially play it in your Big Druid or Big Shaman. You could play it in you want to do standard, you could play some Galakron with it. Like, I mean, it's very, very, very versatile. I think it clearly slots in Even Shaman, and that's where I'll be playing it primarily. But like, I'm trying to get to my 1K Shaman, and like I think I can see myself jamming this in just about any Shaman deck. I think it's awesome. So yeah, I give it a 5.
Daniel
So-
Von Donuts.
Yeah, so I think that you guys, you guys definitely have a lot of the points here, but one of the I think you guys are looking at some of the downsides and kind of overlooking some of this. This has partially the Wind Fury effect, where if you put this down on the board, this will win you the game when you get to play this card. But you have to play this card in order for you to win. So the issue is that if you're not in that Crackle range or not in that Totemic Surge range, this card never gets played. So you're going to think about this card as being super broken because you're going to win with this card every single time. So it's essentially that Wind Fury effect. Wind Fury seems really strong in Shaman because when you play the Wind Fury, you win with the Wind Fury because you're playing the card. Diligent Note Taker has that same effect. I think this is a little bit better than Wind Fury because of its versatile applications, because it can go wide, it can do damage, but I also think that it's definitely going to be played in the meta deck. It'll be there, but I'm not so confident about being the game-breaking thing there. It just gives you more reach. So now it's going to be really strong early in the expansion too, because people aren't going to be able to play around it. They won't know, oh, okay, well, I'm out of range of Crackle, but I'm not out of range of 2 Crackles. So people need to get better at reading that type of stuff. I'm going to give this a card of 4, but I don't think this is as game-breaking as a 5. But I do think it is a strong card, though.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
That is fair. I would like to say, in particular, in the like Pirate Warrior and Odd Demon Hunter matchup, you can play this and then double up Totemic Might, right? You can fight for the board and kind of leverage it into a winning position, which is really strong, right? So kind of like you alluded to with the versatility of this, I think that yes, there are some things that it's in some ways it's win more, but if you're playing it right, it could also help you win the board and help you leverage that into a winning position as well. I don't want to change your mind on that, but I realized that in pushing for that lethal and like, yeah, we win. I negated to kind of emphasize the ability to focus on controlling the board in those aggro, like not mirror matchups, but mirror and archetype matchup. That should not be at all overlooked, because that is a really, really strong aspect of Diligent Note Taker as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will say we recently played some Even Shaman with Mentalistic, and we were testing out the Transfer Student card in there, and I think you just pull that out and stick this in. I don't know, like it finds a place. I mean, I think regardless, like a 2-mana 2/3 has a good stat line for the mana cost. And the versatility is what gets me. I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the hype, but what I really like about this is the versatility.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're done with that one, our next card is a Shaman spell, 3 mana, Molten Blast. Deal 2 damage. Summon that many elemental 1/1s. So this is an odd cost card, right? So obviously not played in Even Shaman. Deal 2 damage. Doesn't say to minion, so this does go face. It is a 3 mana deal 2. The The 1/1s do not have rush. They're just 1/1s. I don't think this is very powerful, in my opinion. 3 damage, deal 2, summon 2 1/1s. I think there's better ways to spend 3 mana in the meta that we have, and we're not playing Odd Shaman. This is a 2 for me.
Yeah, I'm completely echoing that too. I feel like this makes Odd Shaman slightly better. Particularly the spell damage variant with like Arcane Watcher and stuff like that. But that like this, while this makes that deck better, it doesn't make that deck good. So for me, that's a 2. Mike is momentarily AFK. So what do you think, Nate?
I think I scored it as a 1. I think that it's intended for standard to be paired with the spell damage archetype. I mean, I agree with you. I think it's a good point about being potentially played in Odd Shaman, but I think in all of WoW there's about 10 people playing Odd Shaman, and 3 of them are, at the table right now. And so I just don't. It's like really fringe. I mean, it's interesting. It's kind of cool. I just really struggle seeing where I would play it. I just give it a 1, but yeah. Mike, we skipped over you. Do you want to jump on this card?
I'll make it real quick. Is it Molten Blast?
Yep.
Here, I'll cheat. Look at the sheet. I'll give it a 2.
Basically, all you need to say is it's a 2.
Give it a 2. Boom.
I'm a little bit less optimistic. I'm going to give it a 1, but same vein of thought.
All right, I'm super curious to hear what you guys think about this next one, because there's been a lot of talk about whether this one is good or bad. I'm leaning towards bad because of the overload. So we got a 5 mana 4/5 totem. Let's not forget this is a totem. Death Rattle, because I forgot this. Summon all 4 basic totems. So it's a 5 mana 4/5. When it dies, you get all 4 basic totems. However, you're paying 7 mana total for this. What was the card? Smelly Fish, Yummy Fish? What's the card that used to summon random totems?
Wait, what?
Tuskar Totemic.
Yeah, Tuskar. If that wasn't nerfed, this would be a good card.
Is that what he said? Smelly fish, yummy
Smelly
fish?
fish, yummy fish. Right?
Obviously, I never played it. I've never heard.
Yeah,
okay.
no, that was like aggro mid-range days. When you would like cross your fingers for a totem
golem, yeah.
Or Flame Waker. Or wow.
Yeah, but imagine getting this,
The 03 that buffs.
because this is a totem. I think this is
Flame Tongue.
not worth 7 mana, because that's how much you're actually paying for it. I don't think it's playable, but it does have sort of maybe fringe if we're going to be doing the like totem style buffing and all that stuff. But no, we're playing Even Shaman and Wild, so I'm not playing this card. This is a 2.
Man, you were really generous with that too.
Well, no, think of the stats. Hold on.
If this was
Hold on.
If this was Battle Cry, I would agree with
This
you.
doesn't have taunt, though. That's the
just-
thing I'm concerned about.
You just read my mind.
The overall stats are okay. We got 4/5 already. We have 7 health onto that, so that's a 12. So we have another. We got 12 health, and then how much attack?
You're thinking too hard.
Yeah.
Essentially a 7 mana 5/12.
5/12. It's a 5/12. So just saying.
And
So that's why it's a 2.
All right. Sheep,
and
sheep.
if
What do
it
you
didn't
think?
completely handicap your next turn. If
It's still bad. I'm
if
just
it
saying.
was a Battle Cry, man, I I wish that this was a 4 mana 3/3 battle cry. It could be Overload 3. Like it would be amazing. But this is a 5 mana. It's a death rattle. This card is complete trash, and I want it to be so freaking good, but it's not. This is a 1-star card. What do you think, Mike?
All right, so I have a unique position here for the people listening. Less unique for those watching, for those who aren't live right now, listening to all the disgust, and then also reading Memnarch's disgust about this card. And then look, even Goku, High Legend, he said role player card. This card stinks. I'm good. I don't even want to give it a 1, but I have to.
Right?
You gotta believe, Mike. You gotta believe.
Heart of the cards.
Heart of the cards, yeah. Okay, so my thought was basically the same as Sheep's. If this had Battle Cry, I would consider it.
Yeah.
As a death rattle, like, oh, hell no. I think... Now, that being said, okay, there is a card called Windshear Stormcaller that says if you control all 4 basic totems, summon Alakir the Windlord.
Yeah.
So I am waiting to see this on Trollden. I'm waiting for someone like give it to like 3E or Labore Sangre to make this card work, and we can meme out with it sometime in a friendly, casual match or something. But like
For 80 gold.
There you go.
But this card is the deficits clearly outweigh any benefit in my mind.
Yeah.
I give it a 1.
Okay.
Yep. One Aruski for me.
One Aruski.
All right.
All right. Well, we got one more shaman card here. Instructor Fireheart. This is a 3 mana 3/3. Discover a spell that costs 1 or more. If you play it this turn, repeat this effect. So if I understand this right, you play the spell, and then you get to discover again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
If you play it.
Right.
Yeah. Seems slow for Wild. Right? I see this as more of a standard card. Once again, this is an odd cost card. I don't really have an interest in playing this in Wild, to be honest. It's got a super cool effect, super cool art. I don't think I'm going to be playing this card. But the fact that you can discover and you can continue on is super cool. I'm not going to be playing it. So I am going to give this a... I mean, it is... No, it's not really playable for me. So I guess it's a 2. But it's super cool and standard, which makes me feel kind of bad about giving it that rating. It's a 2 for me.
Looks
Yeah,
like one of the Sailor Scouts.
It kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, the art is beautiful. Like the theme is amazing. It's a 3 mana, so I mean, I'll play this in Odd Shaman. That's not going to be a great deck, but I'll have fun with it. So 2 because like I'll play it. That's going to be a tier 4 deck. So 2. What do you think, Mike?
For all those listening, I didn't plan on this at the beginning, but I hope that I can be like the color commentator, the comedic relief here, because I don't want to judge these cards too harshly, because I know if I do, I know damn well I'm going to open them next Thursday. But
Karma.
this card right here, if I was blessed enough to open it, I'd play it, but I don't see myself crafting it, so I'm going to give it a 2 and hope that the RNG guards don't curse me next week, because this always happens. I always open up 4 or 5 bad legends. This one, I'm good. I'll pass. I'll give it a 2.
I think I give it a 2 as well. But my question is, I mean, I think the battle cry is interesting. So the spell that costs 1 or more. So basically, that's any non-zero spell, right?
Right.
Yes.
So there's definitely some versatility. I could see potentially playing it in it like an aggro shaman. Like, hey, if I could get lightning bolt, I could get crackle, I could get volcano burst, whatever it's called. Maybe. I could play it maybe in Danny's like Reno Shutterwalk Shaman, maybe. I mean, granted, your spell is going to take up a slot in your hand, so maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it feels interesting to me. I don't think that, I don't know. It doesn't quite seem good enough with the odd cost. Like, I'd rather play Lady Vosh, the new legendary from this past set that had the prime shaman minion. I think is better. So I give it a 2. Like, I mean, I think that there's some potential, but I don't think that it really works very well in any of our decks. I mean, that being said, I'm not a very strong shaman player, so I would like to see, someone like Blue Train or whoever run it. He's saying in chat that he cut it from his aggro shaman, so maybe it's, I don't know. Danny, what
Where
do you
you
think?
at?
I gave it a
Dan?
2.
Yeah, I'm a little bit less optimistic. I think this is a really cool effect. Do we know how this works for the battle cry? If you play the first spell and you discover a second one, if you play that second one, do you get a third one, or do you only get the first 2, like spell burst?
Oh,
If you play it, so here's the way I read it, right?
Yeah.
If you discover a spell that costs 1 or more, if you play it, you get to discover another one that costs 1 or more. And if you play that, I think the repeat is infinite. That's the way I read it.
Yeah.
But
the
it
way that
requires
battle cries
you
work, that won't transfer over multiple turns. So as many as you can play
on one
On the
turn.
one turn.
Yeah.
That one
yeah,
turn, yeah.
yeah. That's why. Yeah.
See, the issue I have is that the Discover pool for Wild includes a lot of really bad cards.
massive.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue is that a lot of, like, I think for the standard pool, you probably have a lot of really cheap spells right now in Shaman. There aren't that many cheap spells just generally in Shaman. A lot of them are board clears. A lot of them are 8 mana, for example. Like, you'll hit... we had one introduced this set, but so my concern is that you'll go through... You'll go through, you'll hit a 6 to 7 mana card, you'll hit like a 4 or 5 mana card, and then you'll hit something that's unplayable. And like you'll choose one of them, you'll play it, and then you get another card. So essentially, and odds are you'll probably remove this 3/3 from the board anyway. I don't like this card at all. It's never going to see play in that Reno Shaman deck because you're going to go through and fill up your hand with discovered spells when you play Shutterwalk. So, yeah, I'm going to have to give this a 1.
Okay.
The voice of reason.
The voice of reason. So are we done with Shaman now?
Yep.
We are done with
I
Shaman.
guess we're going on to you, E-Sheep City
It-
with Warlock.
To me with Warlock.
Yeah,
We're
buddy.
starting Warlock
Purple
with
time.
the 1 mana spell, Demonic Studies, which reads, discover a demon. Your next one costs 1 less. So this is another one of those studies, that you can start cheating stuff out. When and where are you running Demonic Studies, right? Like, if you have Cannerthod Ebenlock on board, then it's discounting stuff by 2, which is kind of cool. But I'm not going to be running this in Disco. I'm not going to be running this in Cube. Obviously not running this in Ebenlock,
Yeah, off. Yeah,
right?
nice. Yeah, I don't know. Mike, what do you think about this one?
Running this. I think I got to go with 1 on this, and I hate to because, like, you can cheat bigger demons out, but, like, when am I ever going to actively run this in my deck? And I don't know that I do. What do you think, Mike?
I never saw myself playing this card. So when I play Warlock, I'm playing Mechathune. I honestly haven't played Cube Warlock maybe since like the second week of THL. I forget which week, but it's been a few months. And then prior to that, a long time. So this falls under the quest category if I need gold. But like Memnarch said in chat, This is like a power creep to Call of the Void. Prior to him saying that, I was already going to give this a 1 because I don't see how I'm going to use this.
Right on.
What about after he said that?
Wait, say it again?
What about after he said that? Are you still giving it a 1?
Oh, yeah. So I got you. Prior to him saying that and after him saying that.
And after, okay.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's still a 1.
So here's what I'm very sad as a Warlock main that all of these Warlock cards kind of suck. This is somewhere between a 1 and a 2 for me. Now, I think where I think it's interesting is like we've been saying this whole time that like the Discover a Demon, like this is going to give me a 0/1 imp with stealth. Like I don't want that. What I think that it has potential to let me play, like if I'm playing any of my demon decks, right? Most of the demons cost quite a bit, the good ones. This lets me play them 1 turn earlier. That being said, like these decks are so refined at this point. What would I cut to jam this in to get some crappy demon? Like nothing. I would be interested to try this in Reno Lock. Maybe Cube. Like it allows you to play one of your big demons 1 turn earlier, but like it's risky.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it, frankly. I think that it's just too random. And if I really want to cheat out my demons, I'm going to be playing Voidcaller. I'm going to be playing the weapon, right? Skull of Minari. So I give it a 1. I mean, I'm sad to do that. I think it had potential. I almost gave it a 2, but I think it's a 1. What do you think, Danny?
Yep, this is a 1 in my opinion. Also because you get a demon put into your hand from this, so any cheating out that you would do with Skull or Voidcaller when you're doing this, if you're trying, like imagine you top deck a Voidcaller or a Skull, you now reduce your chances of hitting your big demon by 50%, or depending on how many you have, it's less percentage, but you reduce that chance of cheating it out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, 1 star.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow the same lines. I do like that it's, once again, it seems like a free card. You play this, whatever minion you get costs 1 less. However, I rather just play whatever card I actually want in my deck instead of trying to find something.
Yeah.
Right? like oh, let's see what we're gonna get. Like no, like I'd rather just have a plan. That should be
Yeah.
So this seems like like a Tavern Brawl sort of card. So it's a 1. 1 for me. It's cool, but it's a 1.
Yeah. That brings us to School Spirits, which is the first Warlock-specific Soul Fragment card. So if you'll remember, Soul Fragments are 0 mana, cast when drawn, restore 2 health to your hero, and they have different synergies with different cards, like the Demon Hunter one we talked about back in part 1. So this one is a 3 mana spell that deals 2 damage to all minions and shuffles 2 Soul Fragments into your deck. When and where am I going to play Soul Fragments in Wild, right? It
Never.
Shuts out all Reno. It doesn't have synergy with even stuff. Like this is going through all of the Soul Mana stuff, or all the Soul Fragment stuff for Warlock. 1 period. Like I'm never gonna be playing the Soul Fragment stuff in Warlock and Wild, period. That Control, no. Like this is a volcanic potion that also makes my deck worse for some. No. 1. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, so Horcrux Lock is gonna be totally mean. I'm gonna give this card 1.
Yeah, I gave it a 1-2. I just don't think it goes in wild. It's a new archetype in standard. The existing decks in wild are too good. This doesn't have a place. I give it a 1.
Yeah.
Yep, this is a 1. All of the rest of the Soul Fragment 1s and Warlock are 1s. I'm literally just going to say the word 1 for all of those.
Yeah, I hit 1 like as soon as Sheep started talking about it. So
So that brings us to Bone Red Egg, which is a 2-mana 0/2 no tribe minion with a death rattle. Summon 2 2/1 spiders. If you discard this, trigger its death rattle. There's possibility of like some fringe play with like a egg warlock, particularly with the legendary neutral minion that we'll get to eventually. I don't think that you play Bone Web Egg in even that deck though. So this is a 1. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah. I understand this card can, be discarded, and then you activate the death rattle, but you can play it and then still manipulate a way to activate death rattle. I'm not playing. I'll obviously try all these cards out, or to be more real, whatever ones I open. So if I open this, I'll try it out. But looking at it, I'm not looking to discard it to get the death rattle. I'm just looking to get the death rattle.
Yeah.
Nate's the Warlock main here, so I'm interested in what his viewpoint is because I don't see myself playing this card. Honestly, even if I do open it, I'll tell the truth. I'll give it a 2.
All right, here's my thought is that discard Warlock has been a thing recently.
Yeah.
It's very strong. It's very fast. So the question for me is, does this have a place in that deck? Yeah. And I think I want to try it, but I think the answer is no, because all of the current discard synergies are so strong that like I don't know. And typically in that deck, like your board is full. So if I discard this, I get 2/1 spiders, but like I've already got a bunch of stuff on my board that's better than this. I mean, I want to try it, right? And I don't think that like Gold Daniel and I played some egg Q block I don't know, about a week ago or so, and like it's just not very good to begin with. And so I'm jamming this in there. I think it's just not very good. I mean, I definitely want to try it, but I don't think it's better than anything we have right now. I had initially scored it as a 2, being fringe, but the more I think about it, I'm just going to drop it down to a 1 because I don't think that it's better than what we have already.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to go along with what Nate said there. I mean, it has potential fringe playability if you need to rely on being in a more aggressive meta for this, but I don't even think it's that much better, if at all, in that situation. I'm going to give it a 1.
Okay. For me, I'm also leaning towards the smaller end of the scale here. The biggest thing for me is discard Warlock is really, really looking towards the discard side, right? So this is a 0/2. We're not running like power overwhelming, right? Like we're not buffing the cards in Disco Lock, right? So this can be if you do not discard this card and you just play it, it's just gonna sit there, like on board, right? So it's at that point it's just dead.
Actually, it's not dead because no one's going to touch it.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
It's just going to sit there.
Yeah, it just takes up a space on your board, which you don't want.
So I don't feel like this fits in anything in Wild right now. It's super cool. If it had 1 attack, maybe that would be okay, but this is going to be low for me. I'm going to go, this is a 1.
Yeah, I love the artwork. I love the artwork on this. It makes me sad, but it just seems crappy.
Yeah. The artwork and the flavor of like the egg dropping and so the spiders come out, the flavor is great. the card is just not for wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, an easy one.
Yeah. This brings us to Shadowlight Scholar, which is a 3-mana 3/4 minion, no tribe. To Battlecry, destroy a soul fragment in your deck to deal 3 damage. You heard me right. Soul fragment. That's a 1 from me. Well, what do you think, Mike?
1.
1.
What about you? That's a 1 for me as well. What about you, Mike?
1.
All right, cool. That was easy.
It's unanimous. That
all
brings
right.
us to Void Drinker, which is a 5-mana 4/5 demon with Taunt and Battlecry. Destroy a soul fragment in your deck to gain +3/+3. I mean, that's a cool effect, but soul fragment 1. What do you think, Mike?
1.
Yeah, I
Yep.
agree.
One.
This doesn't see play anywhere.
Yeah.
Nope, it's all 1. I do love Void Caller. Yeah, no, it's all 1. 1.
The art's great. It's cool.
No. Oh, Void Ripper is what I was thinking of. I love the art on Void Ripper, which I was thinking about that. But yeah, no, 1 all the way across.
Yep. Brings us to Archwitch Willow, which is a 9-mana 7/7 minion with no tribe. And then Battlecry, summon a random demon from your hand and deck.
Nate.
The art's beautiful. Like, this is going to be a sick looking card, but like, I'm never going to be running this over anything in Cube. I'm never going to be running this over anything in Reno. In Wild, this is a complete 1-star card from me. Like, I know that they're the 8-mana demons, but I'm running Skull of the Minari, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So
I tutor it out of my deck.
I
like,
have
kinda
since
cool.
changed my mind on this card. I mean, I'll talk on it, but
So Nate knows I have a rule with card sets that as soon as someone starts talking about the art of the card, you know that the card is bad.
Yeah.
Nate knows that I have that
yeah.
rule.
Yep.
I've got Sense Demons and Skull of the Minari. I'm not cutting either one for Archwitch Willow. Like, it's 1 for me. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, so I relate that idea of when someone starts talking about the art of the card, it's kind of like,
The heart of the card.
they have, no, like, that person, they get a good personality. But, the rest isn't there. So when it comes to Wild, this card can get played on turn 9, turn 8 with the coin, but 3-4 turns prior to that, we're playing the weapon. So we're already cheating out demons way sooner than turn 9, turn 8. I'll play this if I open it to have some fun, but there's no way I'm bringing this to THL. Like when I got to play against guys like Nate and Memnarch. Are you kidding me? I'm not playing this card. Nope. I'll give it a 2 just to say 2.
Yeah, okay, so when they first released this card, I saw this and my first reaction was like, "Holy crap, I'm crafting this in gold on day 1." Because I love the flavor of it, but unfortunately, the more and more I look at it, like it just sucks. At 9 mana, it is way too slow. If it was 7 mana 7/7, I would consider it. I like the effect, right? Because it pulls 1 from your hand, 1 from your deck. So I like that it thins, especially in the bigger Q blocks right now. Like we're playing lots of demons, right? I've got Mal'Ganis, I've got 2 Void Daddies, I've got 2 Void Lords, or Void Callers. I've got potential with Doomguard. I've got the 5/7 taunt, lifesteal, death rattle, whatever it's called. So like there's a lot of demons in my deck, right, that I could potentially pull. So I'm not worried about like not being able to trigger the battle cry, but like it's so stinking slow. That being said, if you compare it with Cruel the Unshackled, like I'd play this over Cruel, but I don't play Cruel, right? Like I think that I would be willing to try it in my Reno lock, and I think that it is going to fail. Like I will give it a 2, and I think that's being generous. And I'm just really sad about it because I really wanted to like it. Like it's such potential, but oh well. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, 1 star.
That was easy.
I'm keeping it short and sweet. Short and sweet. Half of the remaining cards are all 1-stars. I'm just gonna try to speed this one up because I really do have to leave soon. We're 6.5 hours in.
Ooh, we beat our record. All right,
We did beat the record, and we aren't halfway done right now. Just so you guys know, the number of cards that are in the set, we're just about to reach halfway.
Good lord. All right, Hydra, what do you think?
I might have to dip out.
2 stars. 2 stars.
All right.
All right. That brings us into the warrior class. Mike, take it away.
All right. I wish I was a warrior main because these cards look pretty cool. So let's jump into the first one. It's funny I say that because this next one I don't find as cool. But we have a 1-mana warrior spell called Athletic Studies. Discover a rush minion. Your next one costs 1 less. I'm going to take the coattail of Danny Donuts here and give this a 1.
I think this is interesting to me. I think that I kind of like it potentially in Odd Warrior where I'm not really doing much each turn. Like this lets me play Ziliax or something else 1 turn earlier. I think that in like Odd Warrior, maybe the Discover is good. The value is good when I'm doing nothing but hitting the button each turn. I gave it a 3, which is probably more than it deserves, but I think that it's not terrible. I think that it could be jammed into that deck. I don't know what's good enough to replace it though, but that's where I'm at. I'm tired, and let's just move on. What do you think, Danny?
It's 1 star. You're not playing any rush minions naturally in most of these warrior decks unless you're playing Galakron warrior. So even in that deck, it's not good 1 star.
Okay.
2 stars for me, maybe playable because I do like Ziliax. Done.
Yeah, 2 stars because we're gonna make Rush Warrior an off-meta deck, and it's not gonna be good, but we're gonna do it.
All right. The next card up is a 2-mana spell from Warrior. It's called Information. Add 2 random taunt minions to your hand. I'm going to give this spell a 2. If it was like class specific, maybe I might give it higher, but I'll give it a 2. I don't like the word random. That's why I said it that way.
Yeah, I give this a 1. I think the card pool in Wild is so huge that this is not class specific, that it's just way too random, and I think that the odds of getting a crappy card is too high for me. I give it a 1.
Yep, I'm the same boat. 1 star.
Yeah, if we're playing Taunt Warrior or whatever, maybe Bolster is cool, but no, 1 star.
Yep, this is a 1-star card.
All right.
All right. Next card up is a 4-mana weapon. 4 attack, 2 durability, called Reaper's Scythe. Spell Burst. Also damages adjacent minion this turn. So remember, Spell Burst happens once per game. When I was watching the reveal stream, I wasn't paying attention, and I thought Spell Burst would happen every other turn or every turn. So I thought you could keep doing it. Maybe you can keep boosting durability. Spell Burst happens once a game, so I'll give this weapon a 2.
I give this a 1. I think that it's an interesting effect, but I don't really know where it goes. And I think that there's other weapons that are better. Oh, I don't know. That's all I have to say about it. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I'm giving this a 1 as well because this would only slot into Pirate Warrior. And the effect is not good enough for Pirate Warrior. You'd rather run Death Spite because you're running Frothing Berserker. And you're not really trying to clear the board. You're trying to use this to go face.
Yeah.
For me, this does not interest me whatsoever. Despite is better. If you're gonna play this, Collider is kind of what you're looking for if you're trying to hit other minions.
Super Collider. Okay.
Right? So, that's already better in my opinion. So, to me, this card ain't no good. So, this is a 1 mana. 1 mana again. 1 star card.
Yeah, this is a 1-star card for me too. Death Spite is better. let's move on.
Okay.
All right.
Agreed.
So next card is a 8-mana minion, no tribe, called Troublemaker. 6 attack, 8 health. At the end of your turn, summon 2 3 attack, 3 health ruffians that attack random enemies. Meaning, if the opponent's board is clear, that's 6 going face. But remember, this is wild, so this doesn't fit into pirate or odd warrior. I love the effect, but for wild, I'll give it a 2. Yeah, 2. I'm being too nice.
I'm not quite sure where to put this. Like, I agree with you, Mike, that it doesn't have a place right now. That being said, I think that the effect is like crazy strong because it's an end of turn effect. So potentially, like, if you can't clear this, I fill up my board with 3/3s that also attack at the end of each turn. So like, I mean, I'm giving it a 4. I think that's probably way too generous. It's probably more of a 3. I wish that it was 7 or 9 so it could go into Odd Warrior, but I think that the end of turn effect is crazy good in my opinion. I'm probably scoring it too high, but I give it a 4. What do you think, Danny?
I missed a little bit of that because you were a little choppy. But
oh no.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting a little pessimistic just based off of all the stuff that's going on. But I'm giving this a 1 because it's 8 mana and it doesn't. I mean, it does have an immediate impact on the board, but I mean, in any deck that you're really trying to run this in, it's either going to be Odd Warrior, which is odd. You can't run this, and I don't see any like non-odd control warrior coming to light anytime soon. You don't run this in Dead Man's Hand. I'm giving this a 1.
I give it a 1 as well. It is 8 mana, 6/8. We're not playing any even warrior or regular warrior decks other than pirate warrior. To me, this is a 1-star card.
Yeah, for me, this is a 2, just because people are going to try and make recruit stuff happen because there are more recruit cards, and this is one payoff, but it won't last past the first week. So 2, because I'm feeling generous.
You're so nice.
Our second to last card, we got an epic minion called Playmaker. 3 mana, 4/3. After you play a rush minion, summon a copy with 1 health remaining. And wild, am I thinking? Let's see, Odd Warrior, I don't really play, but I know the style. And pirates, I can't think of a Russian pirate because I like to go face a lot. Weapons, face, charge, face. Yeah, so we're speaking wild, so I'll give this I'll stay on theme. I'll give it a 2.
I gave it a 2 as well. I think that this is interesting to me. The effect, I don't typically play very much warrior. I feel like there is probably some kind of crazy combo here, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. I mean, there's something that could be done maybe, but I think it feels fringe to me, and I don't really like the stat line for what it's worth. I give it a 2.
I'm giving it a 1 because there's a lack of rush minions that you actually want to be playing in any warrior deck in Wild.
Okay.
Okay, well, I am going to be the ambitious one. I'm going to give it a 3. Just because Ziliax is there. And we can get a copy of Ziliax with 1 health remaining. So we get 2 Divine Shield dudes that heal us with Rush. So we're going to go with 3 on that one.
I mean, there's some potential for some Galakron stuff, maybe.
And it's odd, also, right?
Good call. Yeah.
So
Ziliax
it's
is
odd.
fine.
You can run Ziliax. You can get the double Ziliax. So yeah, 3 for me.
Yeah, for the same reason, I gave Athletic Studies a 2. I'm going to give Playmaker a 2. It's a powerful rush synergy, and that deck won't be good, but it will be fun. So people will play it, and if you're their opponent, you'll love to see it. It's a 2.
Cool.
All right. So for the legendary here, I will say when I first saw this, I was like with my girlfriend. We were somewhere, and they revealed this card, and I was like, "This is insane." But as the days have gone by, thought of different ways to take it down, and it costs 9 mana. It's got 9 attack, 9 health. It's Rattle Gore, Death Rattle. Resummon this with -1 attack, -1 health. So in total stats, we're talking about a 45/45. But in actual like playability, I was thinking of maybe I can give this thing a rush with a lackey or a taunt, but then it's 9 mana. And yeah, so at first I was like, what the heck, crazy ability, but it's got a paywall of 9 mana. So I'm going to give this card a 2.
I give it a 2 as well. I think that it feels like a meme card to me. I think I would try it in like a recruit warrior deck. There's a lot of value. I guess maybe you could put it in odd warrior, but it's sticky, which is good, but it costs so much that chances are it's going to be like sitting dead in your hand. Like there's a lot of other cards that I'd rather play for this amount of mana. So I give it a 2. I'll try it, but I don't think that I think it costs too much to be good.
Yeah.
Danny?
Yeah, I give this a 1-star card because the only deck you're gonna be putting this in is gonna be Odd Warrior, and the only matchup you're gonna be using it in is the control versus control matchup because you don't need the value from it. I think that in and of itself, being an off-meta deck in an off-meta situation, warrants a 1.
All right. Here's my opinion. It sucks. However, hold on. However, it's not going to be meta, so because it sucks.
Okay.
But you run into somebody on ladder who drops this, and no one's running silence. And you're like, well, shit. Oh, can't swear. Well, crap. I am now screwed because this guy just dropped a 9 mana 9/9 that's going to turn to an 8/8 7/7 all the way down. So it's probably not going to happen, but it's going to be funny. So I'm going to ladder all the way up to legend and then just play this stupid card and people get mad at me. So it's not good.
And someone uses the Outcast Demon Hunter silence.
Wait, no. I got one better. Ready? So we're talking memes. You pull this off of Galakron after it's buffed up, +4/+4, and then they play that Demon Hunter card. There we go.
I'm just saying, if you're not ready for it, it's gonna probably wreck you, right?
Yeah.
But because it's not gonna be meta, it's not good enough to be meta. But
No.
You do some like grimy goons action and hand buff warrior.
Don
Honcho.
I don't think that it would come back. But like
it comes back as an 8/8 and it's second life no matter what. It only comes back as an 8/8.
Either way, I think it would be sticky and annoying, and it's not good. But if you did do it, people would be very angry. So I'm gonna not give it a 1. I'm gonna give it a 2 because that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm giving Rattlegore a 1. I'm not even playing this in my Recruit Warrior deck. It doesn't have any impact on the board immediately, like Troublemaker does. It doesn't have taunt. 1-star card from me.
Cool. That's it for Warrior. All right.
Lightning round.
Yeah, well, let's keep doing it because we've been playing. I mean, I think a lot of these, fortunately, we can jam through unless you got to go, Danny. We can take a break.
I think that especially for we can definitely do that. But for these neutral cards, I think that we should probably stick to it, unless someone has a comment about it. We should just roll by through it.
Agreed.
For these neutral cards.
Agreed.
All right. Okay, I'll handle these. So starting out is a Desk Imp. It's a 0 mana 1/1 demon. It's vanilla. I give it a 1.
1. It's a Snow Flipper Penguin.
Yeah.
Yep.
1's all around.
Great. All right. Next up is the Animated Broomstick. It's a 1 mana 1/1 with Rush. Battlecry. Give your other minions Rush. I just don't think it's good enough. I give it a 1.
I give it a 2.
1.
1.
3.
Yeah.
Rush
It's not a dead card. I think it's got potential.
possibility, but
Okay.
I mean, I don't have anything really interesting to say besides potential.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, next up is the Intrepid Initiate. It's a 1 mana 1/2 with Spell Burst, gain +2 attack. I just don't think it's good enough. There are other cards that are a lot better for 1 mana, particularly in Demon Hunter or wherever else you play this. I give it a 1.
1.
1.
1.
2, just because Demon Hunter gets something else.
Yeah. All right. Okay, here this might be interesting. I think this is more of a Danny card. I gave this a 1, but this is not like I think this is a meme card. Sure, there's probably some wombo combo here, but I don't see it ever being meta. So I said my note here on this is someone will break the game with it, but it's not going to be me. It's a Penflinger 1 mana 1/1 Battlecry, deal 1 damage, spell burst, return this to your hand. So there's potential here. I don't know what it is. Danny, what do you think?
You would need that 0 mana rock that goes to your hand from that solo adventure. This is a 1.
Oh, good. All right.
Good to know. I'm gonna give it a 2 because
Yeah.
I feel like we could do some pinging, but
That's fair.
I also am giving it a 2, and that's because Clark Hellscream has come up with an OTK for every single class with Penflinger. It's not going to be good. It's going to be fun watching him achieve it with everything. But yeah, aside from
Shout
that,
out to Clark.
Yeah, shout out to Clark Hellscream.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Mike?
Since spell burst can only happen once a game, I'm giving it a 1.
I mean, the thing is, this says spell burst, return it to your hand. So when you play it again, like you play it from your hand, it'll have spell burst again. So
So this one actually breaks. Oh, defies grab.
it's still
3.
not good, but maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Did you say 2 or 3?
3.
Whoa. All right.
Nice.
If it comes back and you can reset it, 3.
All right.
Love it.
Next up is Tour Guide. It's a 1 mana 1/1 battle cry. Your next hero power costs 0. I gave this one a 2. I think it's cute. I'm not sure where you play it. I think maybe okay in Odd Demon Hunter, okay in Odd Rogue, maybe Odd Warrior. Like getting one of the better hero powers for free seems okay. That being said, it's a 1/1 that doesn't gain any stats, so I don't think it's probably good enough, but I give it a 2.
Yeah, I think this card's actually pretty good. I'm giving this card a 3 because one of the issues you run into is that this is a combo enabler in both Shudderwock and in any Beardo list. So that's what this is for.
Oh.
This is a combo activator. You had a 3 mana 2/2 that did this same effect, but now you have it for 1 mana. So you don't care. You want the cheaper mana cost. You don't care about the body. So this is a 3 for me because it's just a better improvement in some combo decks.
Of what, Fencing Coach?
Yep, Fencing Coach.
Yeah, well, this was a total 2 cost card or 2 star card for me, but it's now a 3.
Yeah, I think I will upgrade my score to a 3 as well. I didn't consider the combo potential.
Yeah, it's got combo potential, which is cool. I was gonna say 1 because what this is really for is Zoo in Standard with Scrap Imp, and Discard is just better for Wild. That said, with the advent of the different OTKs, this might see some fringe play, so I'll give it a 2. It's interesting. I like it. What do you think, Mike?
4.
4.
I like when new sets release because there's always a common card, regardless of what anyone says. You can go back. There's always a common card that no one sees coming, and it just is always around. So I feel it's either this tour guide or where you guys just pointed out to me, this Penflinger, how it resets when it goes to your hand. One of these 2 common cards, somebody's got to do something crazy here. I want it to be tour guide. I'm going for it.
Cool.
That's sweet.
All right, what's next there?
All right,
Nate?
next up is the Mana Feeder Panthara. It's a 2 mana 2/3 beast with the battle cry. If you've used your hero power this turn, draw a card. I think that this is interesting in Even Shaman. If you play it for 3, it's a 3 mana 2/3 draw card. Maybe an Even Warlock. I really like the card draw, but only if the hero power costs 1. I think it'll see fringe play. I don't know. I like it in even in the even cost decks. I don't know. Blue Train is saying Even Hunter. It would be.
I don't
good.
like it in Even Hunter because you already have the 2/3 that plays the secret for you or whatever.
Yeah.
Would you-
Hunter.
would-
The problem
face
with
up.
Hunter,
right?
though,
Like this seems worse.
Hunter as an archetype lacks card draw. So if you can use this to activate card draw, I think it's okay. I gave it a 2.
See, the reason I like the secret is not only are you drawing it, you're playing it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I prefer that. I'm gonna
So
give this
you
a
can
2.
run both is the thing. So I've played a little bit of Even Hunter. So the big thing is, Blue Train had it there. You're running both copies of it. You're running the one that draws the secret, and then as the more critical mass, you can play this as a 2-drop as well. You probably cut. Do you? I mean, I'd have to figure out what cards you cut, but you're definitely cutting stuff to put these in. Oh yeah, Fellwing. You'll just take Fellwing out. You don't need Fellwing anymore.
All right.
What
So is
score
that
do
a-
you guys give it? Danny, what score?
I like this as a 3. This is probably gonna be. This is like one of the best cards in that deck now.
Yeah, okay.
It'll. I mean, actually, no. It's gonna see play in more decks. It's gonna see play in Demon Hunter. It'll see it in other decks as well. I think that I'll give it a 4 because it'll be in a bunch of decks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 3.
Yeah, I was gonna go straight up 1, but then the Even Hunter stuff, and of course Demon Hunter. If there's a non-odd variant, I don't know that you actually are able to like fit this in there. I'm gonna go with a 3, 2, 2.5. I'm gonna go 2. You're running this in Even Hunter, but I don't think that you're running this in Even Shaman. It's just too tight. And they already have enough draw, and enough refill rather.
This is definitely better in Hunter for sure.
Definitely better in Hunter. It's Beast, and they need the draw.
I'll actually say it's
they'll
very
even Hunter.
it's very good in Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'll give it a 2 because of that, but maybe it makes Even Hunter even better, and it pops it up to a 3.
yeah. Mike, what do you think?
For me, I'm giving this card a 4 because I believe in the first week it'll at least be play tested in every even deck possible.
Mhm.
To say what decks it stays in after, we're waiting to see.
That's fair.
But I'll give it a 4 just on what I see.
Yeah, I think that I could see. In fact, I think I'll change my score to a 3. Like the more I think about it, it's probably better. I'll be jamming it in whatever even decks I play. I really like the card draw. So, anyways, all right. Next, let's see. Next up is the Sneaky Delinquent. It's a 2 mana 3/1 stealth. Death Rattle. Add a 3/1 ghost with stealth to your hand. There's something here. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's particularly good enough, and I'm just giving it a 1.
1.
Oh, sorry, Hydra, you're muted.
You're totally right. I was muted. 1.
2 for me, just because of Death Rattle, Stealth Rogue. It's not going to be good. I'm going to try it. 2.
1.
All right. Next up is Wand Maker. It is a 2 mana 2/2 battle cry. Add a 1-cost spell from your class to your hand. This is an interesting card to me. I don't think that it's great. I don't know. I think I give it. There's potential here, and I'm not sure quite, what it is. I think that you could pretty easily jam this into I guess you could throw in an even shaman if you want a lightning bolt or a silence, where it really goes into his quest mage, right? Where you get a 1 mana spell that didn't start in your deck. That being said, spell or quest mage is like really tight. So what would you take out to put this in? I don't know. Like I like the other 2 mana cards that give me coins better or draw me cards better, but this could be in quest mage. I am not quite sure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I think in quest mage it could be a 3. I'll leave it at that. Danny.
No, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you that it's going to see playing Quest Mage. I don't know. I'm going to give this a 3 just because it's going to be seeing play. Not sure if it sees 2 copies of play, but it'll see at least 1 copy of play in Quest Mage. You're going to cut the Star Scryer for it at least.
Yeah.
I don't know what the second is, but there may be a card that you cut other than that. But if you're getting down to the specifics on the list, makes at least 1 copy in.
Hydra, you're muted.
Sorry. Is this Wandmaker?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking just online right now because I was looking at the what's the card that always says crystals fresh from Kazakas? Is what I was thinking of.
Cabal Trafficker.
It was
Trafficker.
Trafficker.
You know what I mean, right? Like,
Yep.
That's kind of what I was thinking of, but I don't know if it completely holds up. Maybe it's a one of in like a Reno deck. That's kind of where I stand with it. I don't think it's amazing by any means. It's a 1 cost spell, though, right? 1 cost spell. So, yeah, no, 2. This is a 2 for me.
So we're going to be seeing this in Quest Mage for sure. We're also definitely going to be seeing this in Even Shaman.
Oh,
Even
crap.
Shaman-
Hold on. I didn't realize that this is neutral.
Yeah, this has got...
Why did I have Mage just like in my head?
This has got Storm's Wrath, Unstable Evolution, Voltaic Burst, Totemic Smash, Primal Fusion, Lightning Bolt, Frost Shock, Forked Lightning, Finders Keepers, Evolve, Earth Shock, Blazing Evocation, and of course the new Primordial Studies and Evolving Missiles.
Damn.
Yeah,
Talk to him, sheep.
This is a 5-star card for me because this is going in Quest Mage and this is going in Even Shaman, and those are.
Is it going in Even Shaman though? The issue I have is that 2 mana slot is like we just added a new 2-drop into that, right?
Yeah.
With that extra one, I think that 2 mana slot is too over costed though. I'm not sure this one's better than the other one that we saw earlier.
And I do think that we add both of them. I think Merkspark Eel immediately gets cut.
No.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's
nobody cuts Merkspark. Dude,
I don't know about that.
No.
That's
I can't
brave.
see that card.
That is quite brave. Wow.
That is the hot take there.
That is almost as brave as saying
still that
N'Zoth
same thing.
is unplayable.
Merkspark Eel is really
Ben
strong.
is never living that down.
However, Wandmaker is just so much better. Like, because it's limited to 1 mana, like, no, like the 1 mana slot within Shaman is so narrow, and they're all except for like maybe the Forked Lightning, like so freaking strong, and even Forked Lightning is pretty strong. Like I'm definitely playing Wandmaker in my Even Shaman. I think this is 5 stars for both Even Shaman and Quest Mage.
I like that hot take. Hydro, I missed. What was your score?
3.
All right. What do you think, Mike?
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see this card before, but now that I'm reading it, I want to give this card a 4. I like the fact that it's very specific. Add a 1 cost spell from your class to your hand, so I can manipulate this to my advantage. I'm giving this a 4. I didn't see this card before just now.
Okay.
Or if I did, I didn't pay attention to what it did.
I think this one dropped like really late with there's just the big card dump. So
Yeah.
all right. Let's move on. This next one is called Crimson Hothead. It is a 4-mana 3/6 dragon with spell burst, gain +1 attack and taunt. I gave it a 2, and the reason why is that hypothetically it could replace Twilight Guardian and Reno Dragon anything. It's decent stats for 4 mana. That being said, like I give it a 2.
You have to spell burst this to get the taunt.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, that's the only concern that I have, so I'm giving this a 1. I'd rather just be safe with Twilight Guardian.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing a taunt, you want it to be taunted that turn. You don't
Yeah.
want to be taunted next turn.
True.
Yeah, this is a 1 mana pass.
Yeah, this is just
1
strictly
mana.
worth
1
Twilight-
star. I keep saying mana.
You're good.
1 star.
This is strictly worth Twilight Guardian, and Twilight Guardian isn't even like ubiquitous, so 1 star.
Before tonight, I gave this card 3 or 4, but Spellburst only happens once, so this is a 1. I'm over it. I love this card, but I don't anymore. I'm over it.
All right. Of course, we needed a Rager in this set, so here is Divine Rager. It's,
Of course.
4 mana 5/1 elemental with Divine Shield. I give it a 1.
1.
Yeah, no, definitely a 1. Nothing important here.
1.
I'll give it a 2. It's got a shield. Got to hit it twice to destroy it.
There it is.
Okay, next one up is Fishy Flyer. It's a 4 mana 4/3 Murloc with Rush, with a death rattle of add a 4/3 Ghost with Rush to your hand. I believe this is the only Murloc in the entire set.
Whoa. What?
I think that the Rush is good. I could potentially see this going in Murloc Paladin or Murloc Shaman, but like nobody's really playing either of those. This is definitely, I mean, the Rush makes it better than terrible. I don't know. I give it a 2.
I'm giving this a 1 just on the thing that it goes to your hand. This would be a broken card if it went to the board, but this is essentially playing a Rush version of Core Crown Elite twice, which I don't think is good because Core Crown Elite is only good because it goes face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It is a worse Korkron. This is a 2 for me.
Yeah, this is a 1 for me. You have to pay 4 mana each time. This is not good enough for aggro, and Murloc is aggro in Wild. It has to be. 1 for me.
I'll give this 1 a 2. This is the second card that I noticed was a Harry Potter shout out. First one was Secret Passage. This one, you can't tell me this Murloc is not playing Quidditch or something here. I'll give it a 2.
It totally is.
I'll give it a 2. Yeah.
Okay, next one up is Wretched Tutor. It's a 4 mana 2/5 with Spell Burst, deal 2 damage to all other minions. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 1 and say for the record that I really like the art on it.
We're talking about the art. It's a 1 star.
Rip.
Yeah, no, I agree. No good. 1.
Yeah, the art is great, which means it's a 1-star card. Because we're talking about it.
Pulling it up in front of me. Is this the one that deals 2 to everything?
Yeah.
Spellburst?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was memeing on Twitter and I got a big response from a lot of people. I was saying that what's the spell from Hunter? Toxic.
Oh, yeah.
Reinforcements? Reinforcements.
No, the spell. If it survives, it has poisonous.
Toxic
The
Arrow.
Toxic Arrow.
Yeah, Toxic Arrow. Yeah, I was memeing. And I was like, if you hit this, we'll kill everything. And then one of the devs responded, they said yes. So I got a bunch of likes on the tweet. So based on that, I'll give it a 2.
There you go.
2 for likes from the devs.
Yeah, shout out to the devs. Because, they sponsored the giveaway.
They did that. I have to give them lots of credit for that. Okay, next up is Lake Thrasher. It's a 5 mana 4/6 beast. Also damages the minions next to whomever this attacks. While I like it, it seems totally not playable to me, and frankly, I think that this belongs in Battlegrounds. I give it a 2. I give it a 2, but I don't think that it's ever going to see any play. Danny?
I'm sorry, I got lost. Which one are we on?
This
We
is
are on-
Lake Thresher.
Oh yeah, Lake Thresher. I'm giving this a 1. Maybe you have something where you cheat this out. The only way you cheat this out is with the 7 mana dual class card, which recruits 2 5 or less minions from your deck, and you recruit this one, and you recruit Tundra Rhino. I was looking at that earlier, and then it's just a board clear for 7 mana in Hunter.
It wouldn't be
I
too
mean,
bad
you
to
have-
make a zombie.
That's
style
it's
of it.
I mean, that's the ridiculous combo that you use this with. I don't see that ever happening. I'm gonna give this a 1.
Hydra, what do you think?
Oh, is he frozen?
Oh no, you froze. All right, Sheep, what do you think?
This is a standard card, Beast Druid. It's not a wild card. This is 1 for me. Mike holding up that single digit.
Yep.
1.
Hydra.
Bad card.
Hydra.
bad art.
I'm just gonna plug in a 1 for you. and if you want to change it later, go for it.
Shout out to Blue Train. Yeah, bad card, bad art. Yep.
All right, next up is Ogre Mancer. It's a 5 mana 3/7. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, summon a 2/2 skeleton with taunt. I don't. It just seems really slow, and frankly, I'll never put this in one of my decks on purpose, unless I'm drastically mistaken. I give this a 1.
Yep, I agree. 1.
Yeah.
1 for me.
Yep. 1's all around.
All
Hard
right.
Garbage.
Okay, next up. Steward of Scrolls. This is a 5 mana 4/4 elemental with spell damage +1, battle cry, discover a spell. I had a question about potentially putting it in like Reno Quest Mage. So I think I gave it a 2. If it doesn't go in that deck, I don't think it goes anywhere. But discovering a spell, I give it a 2. It probably doesn't deserve that though.
I don't think it fits in that deck, but no, I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, I also am giving it a 1.
I wanted to give it a 2. It's a 5-drop. Maybe I could play it in Highlander Mage. I know it's not the whelp, the big old whelp. I know it's not a 5/5. I know it's got 4/4 like the other dragon that draws a card. I'll give it a 2 because I want to try it out. Something here draws me to this card.
All right. Let's see. Next up is Onyx Mage Scribe. It is a 6 mana 4/9 dragon. Spell burst. Add 2 random spells from your class to your hand. I give this one a 3. I think that I could potentially play it in Reno Dragon Priest, but I do like it in like that, but maybe Cream Puffs like Reno Dragon Quest Mage. I like the stats for 6 mana and Reno Quest Mage getting random spells. I like that. I don't know what you cut for it, but I think that the body is pretty good for what it is. I'm probably wrong, but I like it. I think it's a 3. Danny?
I don't know. I just think I think that almost all Spellburst cards over 6 mana are rough to run. I'm not optimistic about this. I'm gonna give it a 1.
Okay.
Not super excited.
Yeah, it's a 1 for me too. I really like the effect, but 6 mana is a lot to need something else to like activate it. It's got a nice body, but that's about it.
1.
All right.
Uno.
All right. Next up is Smug Senior. It is a 6 mana 5/7 with taunt. Death Rattle, add a 5/7 ghost with taunt to your hand. I give it a 2. I just think it's too slow. I mean, when somebody plays this, it's going to be super annoying to deal with, which I don't like. But I don't see myself playing it. It's a very defensive card. Maybe Big Priest or something. I don't know, but it feels so slow to me. I give it a 2.
I'm giving it a 1. You're never playing this. It's just too slow.
Hey, Hydralisk, you're back. All the cards that you missed sucked, so I've just been plugging in one for you.
Well, thank you. No, like I sent you a message. I fully blue screened. Like I actually got blue screen. Your computer needs to turn off. So that wasn't good.
That's awful. I'm sorry.
And so no, I'm back. However, unfortunately, I am back at the beginning of the ratings thing.
We are on Smug Senior.
He's a 1.
What class is this?
This is neutral.
neutral.
We're in the neutrals.
It's a 6
Oh, we're
mana
still-
5/7 with taunt and Death Rattle. Add a 5/7 ghost with taunt to your hand.
Okay, well, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
I'm
1.
not playing it. 1.
This is even and actually has taunt. I'm going to give it 2 because it might be good in even paladin, but 6 mana is kind of a lot. So I'm not committing to it like I was other even paladin cards, but that's where I'm seeing play with that one. So 2.
Mike?
Okay.
1.
All right. We are almost done with these. All right. Okay. Sorceress Substituted is a 6 mana 6/6 battle cry. If you have spell damage, summon a copy of this. I gave it a 1. I just don't see this working out in Wild. There's some decent value if you can pull it off, but I think this is a standard card.
1.
Yeah. Spell damage? Yeah, 1. 1.
It's a 1 for me. It's just not. We're not
Same.
playing it.
Yeah, if it was odd, then maybe I would shove it into that odd shaman, but no, it's 1.
Okay, and our last is this? No. This is our last common. Okay, is Plagued Proto-Drake. It is an 8 mana 8/8 dragon with Death Rattle. Summon a random 7-cost minion. I just think that it costs too much. I mean, may not be bad to discover, a random dragon or something like that, but I don't know. I give it a 1. I mean, it's powerful, but I think it's way too slow.
1.
It summons a 7-cost minion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
random. So I mean, there's some decent 7-cost minion, but I don't know.
This is just too. I don't know. This is just too unimpactful, though. Your opponent, if you play this down for 8 mana, you could be playing a Ragnaros. Like Ragnaros is just barely played in decks right now.
So it's
And
like
the
a
only
worse
deck it's played in-
spiteful.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since it's a Death Rattle. Like, much worse spiteful.
No, and it doesn't have taunt or anything. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 1 from me. Like, you're not going to be upset if you get it from Dragon Queen Alexstrasza, but you're never running it in your deck.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, what's the payoff? Priestess of Fury, Winged Guardian,
Lunessa.
Lanessa. Yeah, this card's a 1. I'm all set, bro.
Yeah, it's a 1.
All right. Okay, next up is Cult Neophyte. It's a 2 mana 2/2 battle cry. Your opponent's spells cost 1 more next turn. It is a baby Lotheb. It is not disruptive enough to go into any deck that I'm aware of. I give it a 1.
I give it a 2 because you may see it in some Reno decks because spells early on are a lot more impactful played on curve than off curve. Like Muster for Battle on 3 is much stronger than Muster for Battle on 4. So, I don't know. I think that this sees some play if you're trying to make your Reno decks closer to the ground and make their curve a little lower. That's where I would see this deck this
enough.
card get slotted into. But that's a 2.
2. That's generous. I don't like it. It's a 1.
Yeah, it's a 2 for me. It's a tech card, and not a particularly powerful one.
1.
All right. Moving right along, Voracious Reader. This is a 2-mana 1/3. At the end of your turn, draw until you have 3 cards. I gave this a 4. I think this is a way better Jeeves. There's essentially it's a one-sided Jeeves with no downside. This pretty much goes in every aggro deck that is not an odd aggro deck. I give it a 4.
Did you just? This is a 5 in my opinion. I think this is the best card of the set.
Wow, nice.
Like this is the best card of that they printed. I think that this is definitely going to get nerfed.
Yeah, as far as I know, this is a way better Jeeves. Rest in peace, Jeeves. Unless we're doing full max, but this is way better. So this is a 4 for me.
It's an easy 5 for me. Easy
5. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 5. This is the best card of the set.
Easily. Easily.
Yeah, 5.
Nice.
I don't say 5 a lot, but yeah.
Okay, next up is Robes of Protection. This is a 3-mana 2/4. Your minions can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. I gave this a 4 as well. I think I'm going to jam this in every odd deck that I can. It makes all your minions can't be targeted, including this one. It reminds me of the Death Knight spell, but without the buffs, but it's like better than Carpet. So I think that this, like, I don't know, this, like, I could see playing this in Odd Demon Hunter, in Odd Rogue. You know, this makes you really difficult to target unless your opponent has AoE. But it essentially like invalidates target removal. You have to run minions into it. So we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong, but I give it a 4. Danny?
I'm going to give this a 2 because I don't know. This seems like a win more type of card where you have to have a board, and in most classes, if you already have a board, you should be winning with burst spells like Savage Roar or Bloodlust, rather than protecting them.
That's a good point.
And in something like Even Shaman, like you think about that, you'd want to run Wind Fury over this. I mean, you can't run this in Even Shaman because it's odd. Didn't really think about that one, but yeah, I'm giving this a 2.
Oh, Hydra, you're muted.
If my game plan is to be flooding the board and hitting you in the face, I'm not really concerned about dropping a 3-mana 2/4. I want to be more aggressively statted, and I would like to hit you. So
That's a good point.
this is more of a 2. I'd like this is not part of my game plan to necessarily protect my board when my minions are disposable and I'm trying to hit you. So 2.
Yeah, I'm torn because I think that particularly Odd Demon Hunter wants to run this because they go wide and you can't really like get their stuff quite as easily, and this makes it even harder to get their stuff. That said, it is totally win more, but this keeps you from being able to come back. God, I'm so torn on this. Like, I want to give it a 4, but there are reasons to give it a 2. So I'm just going to split the difference and go with a 3. I think it's really good. I just wish it was like one, like if it was a 1-mana 1/2, this would be busted. But
All right, what do you think, Mike?
Yeah, so at the moment, there's nothing that terrifies me about like minions being targeted. So a lot of board clears or what's that card? Puzzle box. So like Sheephead said, I was kind of thinking the same thing. If it costed less and the stats were smaller, then I'm down with the effect. But for 3 mana, I'm kind of leaning towards what Hydra said. I'm aggressive. I'm just looking to beat you. I could care less about people targeting spells, so I'll give this a 2. Shout out to another Harry Potter themed card, though. This is definitely the Cloak of Invisibility.
Yeah,
that's true. All right. The early card that we got, Transfer Student. This is a 2-mana 2/2. This has different effects based on the board, the game board that you're on. We have seen this card played in Even Shaman. Most of the effects are good. It's not broken. It's not bad. I think for me, it's a solid 3. Like, it'll see some play in some decks. I don't think that it's better or worse. I give it a 3. Danny?
I mean, I'm giving this a 1 just because, I mean, as we were saying earlier, even Shaman has that 2 mana slot contested incredibly tightly right now.
That's true.
I mean, I think that the variability on this card hurts it a lot, especially, like, you don't want to hit a standard board. If you hit a wild board, that's great. They're stronger than the standard boards. If everything was a wild board, you'd be fine. But if you hit, like, I don't know, the one that's give a minion +1/+2, it's not fantastic.
I think that it's a really cool card. I really love the design. I think it's a little too random. And if you have a game plan, this is how you win. This is your deck is built to do a certain thing. This is more of like a casino made sort of fun kind of thing. I'm going to give it a 2 because
I think that's a good score.
Like it's super fun, right? It could do a lot of different things. It could be really cool. However, it's not getting to my, like, I cannot pre-plan with this card, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 2 for me.
Yeah, in fact, I think I'll change my score to a 2 as well. I think it was underwhelming. I mean, we played it and it was fun, and I think most of the effects are more good than they are bad, but the random factor makes me nervous. And I think, Hydra, you had a good point that you really can't plan your deck around this, and most of our decks are so tight that it doesn't really fit. So I've changed mine to a 2. Sheep, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm giving Transfer Student a 1. The reason why they released it early is because they're really proud of the effect, and it's really fun, and it's really cool, and I'm glad that they released it early so that we could play around with it, and we don't have to worry about playing around with it whenever the rest of the set hits. So
it's like Marin the Fox, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When they gave us Marin the Fox, we're like, let's open that chest.
Yeah, I'm glad they gave it to us early so we could play with it.
Now they just gave us the chest.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I'll give it a 1. I like the way Hydralisk and she put it. Wait, the way all you guys put it. For me, this card is very much Marin the Fox. It's very much, here's a small gift to tie you over until the real gifts come.
That's true.
I didn't find any not that I didn't like the card. I didn't find myself building decks to play it because I played Hearthstone since the start. This is literally the card they're giving me for 2 weeks till the set comes out, so I'm all set.
Yeah, I think that the comment that Blizzard was really proud of the effect. I think that that's true. I think that they've done some interesting things with this set that they have not done with other sets. Like, they're really trying hard to think outside the box, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
That being said, like, it doesn't make it a good card. It's super cool effect, though.
We also had that really cool one. What was the it's like a 5 mana 5/6 adapt twice or whatever. What was that card?
Yeah, the Volcanosaur.
Yeah. Like,
oh yeah,
like it was super sick sounding, but then like we played it for 2 weeks and that was about it.
Yeah, same deal. Okay, next up is Educated Elec. It is a 3 mana 3/4 beast. Whenever a spell is played, this minion remembers it. Death Rattle, shuffle the spells into your deck. I think this is another one where this is interesting. I think it's more interesting than it is good, but I imagine that there is some potential here. I don't know. I scored it a 3. I think you'll end up shuffling a handful of spells into your deck, but like I'm not really sure what to make of it. It's maybe it's a 2. I think I'll give it a 2, but somebody will break this, I think. So, Danny, what do you think?
Well, they say that elephants never forget, but I've seemed to forgotten where I was going with this. So,
yo.
But on a serious note, I think that there's got to be something that works with this. I'm going to give it a 2. I mean, I can't think of anything that'll make this card good. Maybe some sort of Jade Druid where you just you don't ever shuffle the Jade idols into your deck. You just play this and make the Jades, and then the Jade idols get shuffled in when it dies.
You really cry hard when somebody silences
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm giving it a 2 because there's gotta be something.
I agree.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea where they're going with this, but they created it for a reason. Okay, so something will happen. Like, I guarantee something will happen one day. But right now, It's a 2.
Yeah.
2 and pass.
Flavor wise, 5. I I think it's a really cool card. I think it's a really innovative card. I think we're going to see something with Elix in the future where remembering is a thing, and maybe this pops up then. But until that additional support really happens, I think this is a 1. That it's cool. It's awesome. I love the flavor, but I'm not playing this. 1 for me.
You're right, Don.
All right, so it's a Spider Tank. It's got 3 attack, 4 health. It's got 4 lines of text. So at the moment, as funny as that sounds, I was being dead serious. I wasn't being sarcastic.
No, it's just late.
It's funny though.
But yeah, no, I know. But no, seriously, based
What is
on
this,
that,
a magic card?
yeah, based on that, literally, because that's 4 lines of text, I'm gonna give it a 3 and just wait to see what the heck happens.
We all know there's
like,
something here. It's just we
Yeah.
don't know what it is yet. Yeah.
So to give more detail and not be as goofy, I remember one of the devs at some point in time saying they purposely make bad cards epics to balance out blah 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 blah. So looking at this card, I'm not saying the card is bad, but 4 lines of text, I really feel like something's gonna happen here. It can remember every spell. Maybe something like Danny said, play a bunch of Jades, it dies, Jades are in your deck. I'm ready to see it. I don't know what it is, and not because of the time, but I just haven't thought of it in a few days. I don't know what this card can do.
Well, and here's the thing, right? I think that this is like testing grounds for a new mechanic. I think I fall with Danny, or maybe it was Sheep that said like, "Hey, this is like the mechanic is super cool. It's not super cool on this card, but like I think this is them testing. Like they're testing out a lot of new stuff." And so, I would like to see them bring back this like remembering thing in a future mechanic.
Yeah, this is that proof of concept epic that we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good point, Nate, because they had someone, was it Celestion? Somebody on the dev side had mentioned they were testing out Demon Hunter, so they released what's the mage legendary that outcasts?
Luna, Stargazer Luna.
Yeah, Luna. They said they literally made Luna to see how it'd play out, and then they just ran with Demon Hunter. So Nate, let's clip this, because you could be onto something here. They could just be testing this out, and then they figure out what the actual effect is in 2 to 3 sets, and then here it is. So I want to see it.
You
4 lines of text.
You have to remember that they've hired a whole bunch of new people for their team recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the first set that Cora has worked on. Maybe it's the second. I think she helped with some of the other cards. But there's a bunch of new people, right? And I think that
first
with
full set that she worked on, I think.
Okay, yeah, I think that's right. But I think with new staff come new ideas, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so we start to see them thinking outside the box, which is super cool. But like these are proof of concept cards. We see a lot of them. We're about to get into the legendaries, the neutral legendaries, and it's the same type of thing. Like there's a whole bunch of weird, random, new stuff. So, anyways, let's move on though. It's getting kind of late. Next one up is called the Enchanted Cauldron. It's a 3-mana 1/6 with spell burst. Cast a random spell of the same cost. I think this is just hot trash. I give it a 1. There's too many cards in Wild for this to be good. It's so random. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm giving this a 1. Yeah, I don't know. You'll get a 4 drop off of this after a spell, maybe, but I don't know. This is like getting a 4 drop rather than a 3 drop. I don't know. It's not great.
Stat line's fine. The problem is it's not a battle cry. It's spell burst, so it's a 1.
LOL, so random. Yeah, 1.
1. Like it's attack.
All right. Okay. This is where we check one of our bingo boxes, right?
There it is.
Hearthstone gets its take on Scry. So this is the first time they've ever done a neutral weapon.
It's Divining Top.
It's a neutral legendary weapon, 1 mana 0/4, called the Sphere of Sapience. At the start of your turn, look at your top card. You can put it on the bottom and lose 1 durability. Like, this is what, like Mike said, this is 4 lines of text, baby. I think Scry is a strong effect, right? So you draw, you look at the card. Do I want this? Yes or no? I don't want this turn. Cool, put it on the bottom. I think, here's my thought on it. I gave it a 3. I think I really want to try it in everything because it's got 1 mana. It can go into the odd decks, but after the fun wears off, I'm not sure whether this is good enough. So I understand. I think there's some broken combo with Druid and with this and Twig, of the World. Yeah, and Twig of the World.
But the thing about that is that you could already do that. You could play Twig on 4 and then play Blingtron on 5, and no one ever did that. So it's not. I mean, you can do this in.
Hey, Danny.
Yes.
I did.
You did, yeah. I did too. I've done that before as well. Yes, I've played that. I've played that combo many a time. But I mean, I don't think anyone's done it recently. Well, I don't think anyone's done it recently. I remember. I think it was 2018. I think it was 2018. I made a tweet about it. You can go back through my Twitter history if you really want to. But yeah, you can do that. That's a cool one. I don't know, the same cost. It doesn't really add anything for that. I think we want to look at it for its actual ability, though, where you can scry for your cards. And I don't know, I'm giving this card a 4 because I think that I think it's 4 because most control decks will want to run this, just because you get a higher chance at hitting those board clears around the peak board clear time. Turns 5 through 7 if you get this out early. And then in the late game, this is really strong because you can dodge some of those dead draws where you hit like a 2-drop when you need to hit like an 8-drop. So I think those are the things that you're going for. I think that people need to learn how to use this because it's not just, I'm trying to hit my curve. This doesn't exactly match up with my curve. You need to be able to judge how good your cards are. And this is one of those skill testing cards that people need to understand. Can I use this card to... People really grasp that in the card games now because everything's just delivered to them automatically. And I mean, we'll talk about it in the next card too, but that's the concept with a lot of these legendaries. It's thinking about what cards do I need when.
So one thing about this card that I really do enjoy is that it opens up a lot of ideas, right? Like for every single class as it's neutral, right? So not just in Wild, but in Standard, we can think about a lot of things, and we can... I mean, there's going to be a lot of smarter brains than I have to figure this out, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I mean, I've seen all the parallels between Sensei's Divining Top in Magic. I mean, it's not quite as powerful as that. It doesn't have the infinite that has if you're aware of how that card works, but I'm really, really looking forward to it, and I'm going to give this card a 3 because it has a lot of potential, and I'm not going to be the one to find it, but somebody is, and then I'm going to play that deck. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love Sphere of Sapience because it is one of those skill testing decks. So it's one of those things that I'm going to play around with and derp around with while I'm still learning it at first. And then I'm going to get good at it, and I'm going to like actually feel rewarded for developing that skill. And I love feeling that way after playing cards in Hearthstone. And
yeah,
this is definitely going to give me that feeling. And I think it's going to actually be worth developing that skill too. I don't think it's going to be completely busted, so it's not a 5, but 4. I feel really confident in giving this a 4 because I am going to be forced to develop that skill, and I'm going to be rewarded for doing so.
Yeah. I really like how you've given that a 4. I have not heard very high reviews, and so I'm looking forward to what you're going to do with this.
Scry is strong. I mean, for anybody who's played Magic, like... I don't know. And I mean, if this cost a lot more mana, okay, like, do I want to take up my entire turn playing this card? No, but for 1 mana, like,
Right.
I don't see the downside, frankly. What do you think, Mike?
All right, so while you guys are over there at Arcane Intellect 101 getting smarter, I'm just gonna stack every deck with a Gluttonous Ooze and destroy this weapon on sight. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, like everybody
But
else.
you're not wrong, though. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Weapon hate is now universal.
No, I was goofing because there's no armor. But anyway, I definitely want to join you guys and play test this.
Harrison Jones, man.
Coming from, good point. Coming from Magic, like from Magic to Hearthstone in 2014, I was the friend who got a lot of hand-me-downs. One of my favorite things was, I got a lot of blue cards, was scrying. Regardless if the card was good or not, I just liked the ability to do that. So I've always wanted for this to happen in Hearthstone. If it took forever, sure, but it's finally here. Now we can test it out, see what it's like, and then hopefully it's something. I'm glad it's neutral. I'm glad it's not like in a class that's not like a class I'm not playing. So I talked a lot. Obviously, I like the card. I'll give it a 3.
This is the reason that they gave weapons colors, like class-specific colors, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. Next up is Lorekeeper Polkelt. Is it legendary 4 mana 4/5 Battlecry? Reorder your deck from the highest cost card to the lowest cost card. I think that this is a 4, and here's my stance on it. You guys will laugh. Here's what my notes say. I can tell this is good, but I'm not good enough to figure out where to put it. Maybe combo Druid. Danny, please tell me why this is a good card. Like, I know this is a good card. This is maybe Mechathune, maybe some kind of combo Druid. I don't know. But like, clearly the effect has potential.
Shivala.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, well, that's that in and of itself. The Molten Giant combo is something as well to consider. Where if you have Holy Wrath and then you play this in Holy Wrath, you guarantee you hit the Molten Giant. But I mean, there are a lot of purpose. That's one of those meme potentials for this card. The real kicker for this is that in any combo deck, you can now tutor for your high drop cards, and in most combo decks, those are your combo pieces. You look at your Mechathune, you look at your Emperor Thaurissan, those are the cards that you want. So in most cases, you want to make sure you have any of those low-cost spells that you need. Let's say we're playing Exodia Mage. You just got to make sure you have your Sorcerer's Apprentices, and then you can go through and play Polket, and then you'll draw your Emperor Thaurissan, your Antonidas, not in that order, but you'll draw those high-cost spells. So this is another one of those cards that if you just place this in your deck, and you play it on 4, you're going to lose because you're going to draw your cards all the way down and you have to wait all the way until you get your Sorcerer's Apprentices. But if you wait until you can absolutely play this card, then you can tutor out for those specific cards that you need. One other thing to note is that anytime you shuffle something into your deck, it will reshuffle your entire deck. So there are ways to get around this. If you want to only tutor your top card and then potentially get other cards, you can make that happen with things like Plot Twist or there are other ways to shuffle things into your deck. But that's just a way around that, and that's how the mechanic works, at least. I'm giving this a 4 because I don't think this creates anything besides a Holy Wrath deck. But I think this supplements a lot of decks. I think this comes through and this improves some of the viability of a lot of different combo decks.
Yeah.
All right. For me, I fully agree with everything Danny said. I'm going to take a different spin on it, and I'm going to say that I want to put this at the top. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, but I want to put this in a deck where I curve out at the very, very top around like 5 or 6 mana. And so I'm hitting, pirates, weapons, hitting you in the face. I want to play this card, and then I know my next draw isn't like N'Zoth's first mate, right? So I play this card, it's going to give me my highest cost card next turn. So I'm going to get my like Arcanite Reaper. I'm going to get my Leroy Jenkins. Right? It's going to give me whatever I need to get to kill you.
That's an interesting take. I hadn't thought about that.
I
Yeah.
haven't either. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I'm thinking for this. So like, you know, like we curve out, we put as much damage into your face. I drop this. I'm the top of my curve is like 5 mana. Now after this is turn 4. The next 4 cards are all my 5 mana cards. Reaper, you know, Leroy, like or in Rogue, what is it like? Myra's,
Mhm.
right? Like this is
Captain Greenskin.
yeah, Greenskin. This is going to be my game ender. We're going to draw the cards that I will kill you with. So that is what I want to use this card for.
Nice.
I like that.
So hold on. So that's a 4 for me.
Yeah.
Aggro 4.
Yeah, Mike and I have already talked at length with Shirvala Paladin before this, so I'm gonna let Mike talk about that whenever it's his turn, because I know he's really excited for that. I am as well. I mean, really, you pretty much can run this in almost anything. Like I'm looking at Raza Priest and like, oh, cool, I can drop this on 7, get my Shadow Reaper Anduin on 8. You probably cut Geppetto because you're cutting Geppetto anyway. With the Priest new legendary.
Well, I think if you do hit Geppetto, if you play, let's say you were to play Geppetto, I think that's reshuffling your deck, though.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm cutting Geppetto completely. So we get Anduin, we get Psychic Scream, we get Reno, we get Raza. You know, if we haven't already like drawn those things and played with them, like we're getting the things that we need to get to actually like play and do that ending turn to. I feel like if played well, this can slot into almost any deck. I hadn't thought about the aggro implications for this Hydralisk. Like that's brilliant. You just need to build it a certain way that doesn't hinge on this, but that this emphasizes, right? Like that this just makes better. This is Lorekeeper Pokelt makes a meh draw into an amazing draw into your late game if you're playing it correctly. And because of all of that, I think this is a 4. I think that Lorekeeper Pokelt is brilliant. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I gave it a 4. Obviously, originally I was thinking of Shirvala, but hearing you guys, there's a lot of different ideas. I like where Hydra was going because looking at this other card, Voracious Reader, if this card can be used to refuel your hand as an aggro deck, why can't the same idea be used for Lorekeeper Pokelt, where we're playing? It may not be like a pure aggro, 1 2 3 4, or 1 2 3s, but like he had said, if the top end is 5 and then we're going into 4s, this could be the perfect card because, like he said, Dream Game. If you play like a good sample size, play this on 4. And now we're talking turns 5, 6, and 7. It's a bunch of 5 bombs. I like this card a lot. I'm going to give it a 4. When I first saw this card, I know everyone thought the same thing, but I immediately thought Shirvala because last week I was literally playing that deck all week just to play something different. So when I saw it, I was like, you could play this, put Shirvala on the top, and everybody knows when you're playing against Shirvala, you're trying to stay above that 25, but if you got them in a situation where it's like, I got you, bam, game over. Somebody said to me, what if you draw it? There's plenty of ways to push your ball back in your deck. I've done a bunch of times in the past week. I know there's Sathervar and then the Banker. So there's 2 cards or 3 cards to do it. But I'm just saying there's too many opportunities to put Shirvala back in your deck. Mm-hmm. I say this from experience within the past week. I'm not saying it from like years ago or whatever. But I give this card a 4.
Nice. All right. Next up is Headmaster Kel'Thuzad. This is a 5 mana 4/6 spell burst. If the spell destroys any minions, summon them. I don't know. This is a cute effect. It's got good stats for the mana cost, although I'm not sure where this slots in. There's some potential in some Reno deck. That being said, like I don't think that I want my opponent's minions. I mean, maybe if there's some AoE, then my stuff comes back. I swear in the who was it? Amazing LP had the reveal video for this, and I swear like they cast Brawl or something. But like, what is the chance? Like, does Kel'Thuzad have to live for that to work?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have
Yes.
to live?
All the-
Yeah.
So like, what is the
yeah.
chance of that going to pull off? You know, or any sort of AOE that affects all of the cards? Like, I don't know. I really.
Well, hold on. What if we have both Kel'Thuzads on the board? Then we're good, right?
Look, I give it a 3. I think that there's some potential here that maybe I'm not seeing. You know, I think in a deck that like, I don't know. You know, the spell burst only works once. Also, like Mike was saying, if this was an every turn thing, okay, maybe it gets nutty. But
Oh,
like,
it's horrible. It's horrible. I can't believe that.
yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Actually,
smart.
I kind of think that this is I think this is actually a 2 for me. I just don't think I want to use my spells to kill my opponent's stuff, and generally, like, I don't want the stuff that my opponent has. It feels like a little bit win more to me, so I give it a 2. But I don't know. What do you think, Danny?
Danny?
Oh, sorry, had internet connection. Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I think this is slow. This has like super taunt though. Just so if this does stick down, like this is like a super taunt unless you're killing your opponent, because this is like the most important minion ever. I mean, on 5 mana, it's sometimes difficult to kill 6 health worth of stuff. So I don't know. I'm gonna give this a 3 because it's a legendary, and they had to have thought of a lot of this stuff. But I mean, if they're relying on us having this stick around and then doing something, I don't know. I'm not really super confident in it. But I mean, it is a legendary. I think that this is one of those legendaries that seems like it could have a super impactful effect, but I'm a little afraid about it. How it's not gonna stand up to.
You know
what it'll
how
actually be.
You know how we're like people always say in the community, do the devs even play this game? Well, I think they do play the game because I don't think this is overpowered. I think this is a little lackluster. I think it's a little underpowered. I don't think this is going to be a meta card. I think it's super cool. The devs do play the game, and this is a 2.
They should have given us this one to play for a week instead of transfer student.
Yes.
Not gonna
Yep.
lie, I was literally about to say that. That's so perfect. And that is actually also why I'm giving Headmaster Kel'Thuzad a 1.
Ooh, a 1.
Yeah, I think the effect is super cool.
I know it is. It's just like
It's just
not
bad.
good.
I mean, it's not bad, but
We
like,
should have a casual tournament.
when and where are we ever
Coolest
gonna play?
Kel'Thuzad board clear.
When and where are we ever going to play Kel'Thuzad? I don't think that this even goes into like any decks. Is it
No.
awesome? Yeah. But outside of the first week, like we're not going to see it. And that's just because people are excited because it's Kel'Thuzad. Like he's the headmaster. Like there's so much like cool and fun like interactions like with it. But like it's not there, man. It's not there. Kel'Thuzad is a 1 for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that because it's so cool, but it's a 1.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I'm with Sheep because to be honest, I give it a 1 because to be honest, I look back in a month, 2 months, and then I hyped up this card. Oh, it was a 2, it was a 3. Like this card is good for me if all right, I played on 4 as a priest, and then somehow crazy they get a bunch of minions, and then I played Shadow Word. What's the new one? Shadow Word destroys
Ruin.
5 attack minions.
Ruin.
Ruin, and then I get their minions. Okay, that's not going to happen. Or if I play this as mage on turn 5 against a demon hunter, and then I play Blizzard, I get their crappy 2 health minions. I'm just not excited about this card. It's a 1.
Well, let me make this card even worse for all of you, right? This says spell burst if the spell destroys any minions, summon them. So
Yeah.
this requires you to play this and then play a spell that destroys something. So if I play this and then play, what is the pre-spell? I can't think of the name that heals for 3 and discover a card, right?
Renew.
Renew. Like then all of a sudden my spell burst is gone.
Yep.
Oh shit.
And
Yeah.
it did nothing.
Yeah.
And so this is not, next time you kill something with a spell, summon it. This is spell burst. And so your next spell has to be removal, which I think is just really limits it. Like it's super cool. Like hands down, super awesome. I love the idea. I love that they're doing something new. Like the creativity of this set is phenomenal. Like this is better than anything that we've seen in ages from a creativity point of view. But like this card sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I feel really terrible saying that.
It's so cool. It's such a shame that it sucks.
All right. We're almost done with these. Poor Danny is about time to wake up.
Yeah.
There's two.
I'm just gonna make it through the legendaries, and then I'll leave the other
Be right
stuff
back.
to you guys.
There's 2 cards left to get through. So the next one up is Vectis. This is a legendary minion, 5 mana, 4/4. Battle Cry, summon 2/1/1 whelps. Those are dragons. Each gains death rattle, a death rattle from your minions that died this game. I think that this is really interesting. I think that this is strong in the right deck. It could be interesting in some sort of egg hunter, in some sort of I don't know. Like I wonder if there's a way to make this work in like a Mechathune, like if you accidentally like whiff your Mechathune or something. Like I don't know, but it's a build around. That's what I feel. I feel like it's a build around, and so you have to be very careful how you put this in your deck. I think that it's definitely strong somehow. I give it a 3.
I mean, I think this becomes N'Zoth Junior in my mind, where if you have N'Zoth in a deck, now you run this as well because you're already running death rattles, and the whelps don't go into the pool for death rattles. So, I mean, anytime you're playing N'Zoth, this card is just a half of a N'Zoth, and then it's half of the N'Zoth on the board. Like, I think you can call this N'Zoth Junior.
Is this where Ben from work was kind of going with telling us about how N'Zoth is not playable?
I
Competitively?
don't think that Vectis
Wait,
was
what?
released yet.
Oh, he said
Wait,
that.
wait.
He said that last
Did
week.
he say that?
He
Yeah.
did.
There's no
Oh.
way. Like, it's run in I think that there's probably 2 decks that run it. I think Q-Block runs it. Like, Q-Block is the one deck that you can say that you're running N'Zoth in. This is definitely seeing play in Q-Block. And then in some mages, maybe. But I think that it is definitely more limited than you'd expect. But this definitely sees play in Q-Block.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna give, for me, this is a 4.
What
Think this is.
What was your score, Danny? 4?
I'm going to give it a 4 as well. Sure.
Yeah. It's totally a 4 for me as well. I think particularly, Death Rattle Hunter, but also what I'm really excited about is Death Rattle Rogue. Being able to like drop this after having like played like Skyvateer. Like you don't need a ton of value from this to just like continue to play Curvestone with it, right? You're getting value, which is good. But like get your draw with Skyvateer, get a minion pooped onto the board from the eggs or anything like that. I mean, I think Vectis is just a really good tempo play in those kind of lower curve death rattle like based decks. So I'm really excited for Vectis, and I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, you know what? I actually think that I would increase my scores from a 3 to a 4 as well. And as a warlock player, like we have having something that can pop your cubes. I think the only synergy mishap I see in Cube Lock is that this summons or this takes on the death rattle of a cube, which we don't want. I think there are definitely some hunter shenanigans that if you can, with Katharina, Winter Wisp, or God, I don't know what it's the 8 mana one that 8 mana 3/3 that pulls a 8 cost Devil Soar out of your deck or whatever. There's some shenanigans that we could do from this. So I think a 4 is appropriate. Mike, what do you think about Vectis?
Vectis. So when I first saw it, I was thinking of when I used to goof around and play Awaken the Makers. It's actually pretty cool if you come across the right matchup where you can get a lot of death rattles out really quick. Forgetting the name. Played the 3 mana spell to summon 2 1/1s back.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Vectis is kind of like that. Would just what's the term in Hearthstone? People like to say spell on a stick. Is that the term? Spell on the body. So I like Vectis. I'm definitely gonna try him out. I'm hoping that I open it.
I get what you mean.
open
I don't know what the saying is, but I get what you mean.
I want to see it in gold really bad.
Yeah. So I'll give Vectis a 3. But now Hydra, I'm forgetting the term because I hear it all the time in Hearthstone, where like they literally call it like eviscerate on a stick, but they have like a phrase for it. Here's Lay say it all the time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
On a stick is part of it. I can't recall the first bit, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Mike. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give it a 3.
All right, this is our last neutral card. Dumbledore, aka Keymaster Alabaster, 7 mana 6/8.
It's so funny.
The picture says Dumbledore, but the text says Hagrid.
Yeah,
it's the keeper of the keys.
Yeah, right. If you notice, like you zoom up in the card art, he's got the keys like braided into his beard. It's fun. So 7 mana 6/8. Whenever your opponent draws a card, add a copy to your hand that costs 1. I think this is another cute effect. Like, there's definitely some disruption potential. You know what your opponent just drew, which is really cool. Getting a copy for 1 seems like there is potential for some crazy things to happen here. Like, cool, let me get a 1 mana anything. Doesn't seem bad. This reminds me, in a sense, of Emperor Thaurissan, where you can't leave it on the board unless you're trying to like mill your opponent. This they're going to end up drawing like it's a value generator. The other thing that I see with this card is like I want someone like Danny or Jonah Raw to like make this into a Mill Druid deck. Like jam this out in Druid, play Naturalize on your opponent's card. They draw 2, you get 2 copies that cost 1. Maybe I give it a 3. I don't know. I think that if you leave it down too long, I mean, it's going to cause some serious problems. I don't know. What do you think, Danny?
I mean, so you're guaranteed 1 card from your opponent. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like Emperor Thaurissan, where you're guaranteed that 1 tick. Yeah. Now the issue is, like, Emperor Thaurissan is infinitely more efficient because you guarantee. Well, it's better because you get the mana guaranteed, whereas your opponent could draw a Shield Slam and you're playing Rogue. Like, your opponent's deck synergizes with itself, not necessarily your deck. If you draw your opponent's Mecha'thun, there's nothing that you can do. Like, there are a lot of things that... There are also times where you can hit good stuff. Don't get me wrong there. But, I don't know. I would be more trying to advance my own game plan than trying to advance my opponent's game plan. Unless I do something dumb like swapping decks with my opponent and then drawing my original deck at a discounted rate. Like, if you really want to big brain that's your Mill Druid idea, where I have some dumb win condition that I can only do if I get like 80 mana worth of discount. But I'll swap the decks with my opponent and then draw my opponent his entire deck so that I get my 80 mana worth of combo for 1 mana a pop. But I mean, I'm
Omu and Tog and
yeah. I mean, but we're not living in the dream world. I think that we are fine. I don't think that's a possibility. I'm giving this a 1 just because I don't think that this ever sees play competitively. Just generally, because there's no real, like, against aggro, the cards already cost 1 mana. It's like copying a card there. And then against control, it's like you can't really disrupt people from their combos with their combo. Maybe if it were in a value-oriented metagame, but we are in Wild, and that's not a thing. There's no control versus control battles.
It'll make some Trollden videos. That's about it.
Oh, for sure. And this is going to be a good card in Standard. I mean, just the way that mid-range works and how mid-rangey Standard is, this is going to be very good in Standard, but it's not going to be seeing play here.
So this is a turn 7 card, right? You're dropping this. It says whenever your opponent draws a card, add a copy to your hand that draws one. So you're playing this on turn 7, which means you're not doing anything, right? Doing nothing is bad. Especially on turn 7, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, we are doing nothing at this point in time, which means, in my brain, this is a bad card. Unless you're going to mill them and you're going to draw some cards or whatever, but this doesn't... It's late. It's got a big body. That's fine. It doesn't seem like it does anything. So
compare this to Chromagus,
That-
right? When you
that's exactly what I was going to say. Too.
oh my god, we are on the same.
like this is a 1-star card. I'm sorry, but it is. Like, it's Chromagus. Oh, hey,
No,
Nate,
but nobody plays it. That's the point. Like, it's a neat effect
Exactly.
that nobody plays because it's not good enough.
we should play some legendary decks. I have Chromagus.
Yo, I played Chromagus like 4 years ago.
I don't dust. I don't dust, man.
No, man, I got I got a full set, but so Sheep, what do you think? I mean, I don't mean to steal your thunder. I'm sorry.
No.
okay,
I'm all done. It's a definite 1 star here for me.
honestly so excited that you said that before I got to. Chromagus does cost 1 more, but like I think the stat line is straight up the same, right?
It's
like
a
what
6/8.
is-
Yeah, it's a
what is
6/8.
the new one? Yeah, 6/8 as well. So I mean, same exact stat line. Cost, Chromagus costs 1 more, but Chromagus, at least you're drawing cards that you put in your deck, so they
Mhm.
synergize with your like end goal versus like Danny was saying. I'm a rogue, or I'm a warrior. I'm not going to be able to necessarily play the cards that my opponent put in their deck. Like, that's their game plan, not mine. It's really cool. There are going to be some amazing Trollden videos from it, but it's a 1 for me as far as like actual playability as well.
I think that there's
so cool though.
if I see this, actually, I think I'll change my score from a 3 down to a 2. What I really want to do, like, this card almost reminds me of, what is it, like a Fel Reaver, right? Like, if my opponent drops this,
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw as many cards as I can to make them start like, no, I guess it's when they draw a card, I get a copy, right? Yeah, no, I just think that it's like, if this is like a worse Chromagus, right? Because you get, okay, cool. There's going to be, some weird scenario where I get a 1 mana Dragon Queen Alexstrasza, but like 99% of the time that is not going to happen. Anyways, yeah, okay. What was your score?
Solo Uno. Pardon me.
Okay,
1.
Mike.
For this review, I gave it a 1 for myself. I wanted to give it like a 3 because I could see jokes with it, but it's just a bunch of memes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play like Cold Light or like Naturalize or Plot Twist, but The only time I can see myself having fun with this card is if like my opponent. A lot of people like to fill their hand without paying attention. So outside of the main meta decks, I want to corner somebody, play this, and like naturalize, make them burn cards. But then the cards they burned, I actually get to keep. Hopefully they're good. But like you said, Trollden level. So I'll have fun with it. I'll probably play this more than I should. I'll give it a 2.
Sounds good. Now, you guys remember all week long when I was telling you this is going to go really late? This is going to take a long time.
Yeah.
Hey,
No
we
problem.
even surpassed it. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing okay, but I have a work meeting in 5 hours, so
Oh damn.
I'm gonna drop off here at this point. We just pulled a full shift because we started this at 9 p.m. EST. It is currently 5, so that's an 8-hour shift.
9 to 5.
Ooh,
Wow.
it flew by.
Okay, I think we did reach that high score that I was talking about. I think we did it.
I think we did. Danny, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast. It was a good time.
Danny Donuts, I would like to say I've listened to you on Well Met for a long time. And the first time I think I ever ran into was on Ladder. And you won, and I was mad. And I was like, dang it, I lost. Because I was versing you, and I was like, oh, this is the guy from Well Met. I'm going to kick his butt. And then, like, you beat me by, like, 1 health, and I was like, gosh, darn it. Freaking Danny Donuts. And then I added you. What? Yeah.
Did he say well met or greetings when he won?
No, I don't remember the exact thing, but I remember like, okay, we're versing Danny. Okay, I gotta win this one, right?
Better
And then,
than
no, he still won. It was. I can't even remember the match. I think he was playing like some sort of control deck, and I was probably going aggro, and I slightly missed it. And that's when I added him, and it was cool. It was really good to add you, Danny, and it's nice to have you on the show. And I know you've been a part of this set review for a long time, and I'm really excited to be a part of that with you. And I'm really thankful that you came on.
Yeah, it was a blast. I really enjoyed this. This is one of my favorite parts of any content creation, and just to see the enthusiasm that everyone has about all these cards, their pet theories, where everyone thinks everything lies, and I get to give out some hot takes, which is always a lot of fun as well.
Can you do us a favor?
Sure.
Can you say hello to Ray C and JR?
Yeah, sure. I can tell them. I'll relay the message back to him, yeah.
Just say hi, because we love Well Met.
Yeah, definitely will.
And well met, Danny. I'm also so honored. I already told you in chat, but
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
glad to meet you guys face to face.
Yo, same here. I always knew about you. I've always liked your logo. Pretty cool.
Thank you.
I didn't know we lived so close. Otherwise, all these years I've been
Yeah, that's
complaining
crazy.
about not going to firesides or not knowing people who play Hearthstone near me. You and Ray C are freaking right down the road. That's crazy. But yeah, this was cool, man.
Yeah.
This is my first like on stream set review, so I was ready for this. I know Nate, you were joking, but I was preparing all week, bro. So this is cool.
Yep. Hey Dan, you wanna do any final shout out? Where can people find you if they're looking for you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at DannyDonuts_HS. This isn't well met, so I won't completely destroy Battlefy.
Daniel,
but yeah, yes. That was a blast, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. You're always welcome.
Yep. All right. Well, have a good evening, everyone. Or have a good morning, everyone.
Oh,
Top of
God.
the morning to you.
See you all later.
That's right. Thank you. See you around.